everyone, this is groovemixer, and I'm just going over my custom MIDI mapping that I made for the Vestax VCI-400 EGE Edition. What I basically did is I downloaded the TSI file from djtechtools.com version 1.1.2 and I just customized it to my own preferences. First thing I did, as you can see, is when you push play on all the decks, the play button will flash. If you hit Q, it turns to a solid green. That's just a good way of seeing which is the Q and which is the play buttons. Also with the play button, as you can hear, I set it to trigger to Q, and I just got rid of the play pause feature. Moving over to deck B and D, I did flip over the Q and play buttons, so now the play buttons are on both decks are on the outside. For the jog wheels, I tried adjusting the tension in the center and also with the software to make it as smooth as possible. They're not that accurate, they're not as good as the S4, and they're definitely not as good as the new Den 3900s, but they're not too shabby to just mess around with and add some kind of effect. So I'll make you hear how it sounds. I'm not a scratch DJ, so it might not sound that great, but here we go. So they're not too shabby. You got to kind of play with them and adjust them to your liking. Moving over to the tempo faders, wasn't too happy with these. They're not as accurate as the S4. I like to do long transitions by ear, and these weren't cutting it. So what I went and did is I programmed this encoder to do some fine tempo adjustment. And if you look at my screen, look at the BPMs. Basically got it down to adjust to 0.01 of a BPM. Also what I went and did with this encoder, if you push it, it triggers the shift if you hold it down. If you hold it down and turn it, you can actually adjust your loop, which now is on this encoder. So the loop set and length is here, and then if you want to move it, just push down on this or push the shift and turn it. So you can see here, fine adjusting it. That's what that does. The other couple of things I did is I'm now using these two buttons on both sides of the deck to tempo bend decks A and B. Sometimes you want to just give it a quick little nudge. I don't like to use the jog wheel, so I map these out for decks A and B only. I will be programming them for C and D soon. Last thing I did was the effect knobs and buttons. I was so used to the Traktor S4 that I kept on messing up with the 400. So basically the dry wet knob was programmed originally to your encoder. I moved it back to how it's set up in Traktor. And that's basically it. Thanks for watching, guys. Take care and God bless.